How's it going, guys? It's Cole from See-Through Panel, showing off Rye, the deluxe edition, published by Valiant Comics, retailing for $49.99 US. Written by Dan Abnett with a host of artists, but mostly Juan José Rip is who I'm going to talk about today. Before we get started, I will say I'm not going to spoil any of the story or anything like that, but I will be showing off the art, flipping through it, so you may see something that you may construe as a spoiler. If you're worried about that, read the series first. It's like 15 issues. It's 10 if you skip the intro, and you'll be much better off for that. Also, I'm going to have a rant at the end of this video about the current state of Valiant and why I will not be buying any more Valiant books, even reprints of old stuff. So it's not to diminish this book's quality. It's an awesome book, and I loved every second of it. In fact, how much I love this book makes me more angry at Valiant in its current state. So let's get into the book for now, and I'll talk at you later about that. But I'm very passionate after reading this book because I love this book. Starts off with Fallen World, which is some kind of event book in the Valiant universe, 1 through 5. We do get an intro by Juan José Rip, but then we go to Adam Polina, and Andrew Dahlhaus is our colorist, and our letterer is Jeff Powell. Then we go to the Rye proper series, 10 issues with Juan José Rip and a fill-in from Benny Lobel, colorist Andrew Dahlhaus, letterer Dave Sharp. Then we get the history of the Valiant universe, which I'm not going to cover in this video, but just kind of a closer issue. I don't know anything about the Valiant universe. I got into it from Exo Manowar by Matt Kindt, Tomas Giorello, and a lot of other artists that are phenomenal, but about little less than 10 years ago, that's what pulled me into Valiant. And it's really a superhero universe like Marvel or DC, but it pulls a little bit back on those. That's a sewn binding. If you can, does the light permit you to see that? I'll show it off later. It's a sewn binding. It's a contained universe like Marvel or DC, but it's a little pulled back in the superhero sense, where it's more action adventure. There are characters running throughout the stories that are consistent. We have the Eternal Warrior, the Geomancer, Bloodshot, Rye, I guess Dark, who is, I don't know. I don't know any of them. The thing I'm trying to get to is that it doesn't matter. A good story will explain itself to you and give you all the information you need to know, regardless of canon. And I don't really believe in canon. I think it's a detriment to a lot of stories. Dan Abnett, though, is extremely proficient in going into a pre-constructed universe, a la Marvel Cosmic, Warhammer 40,000, or Valiant, and just working with their rules on their properties in their world and making it sing and making it easily communicated to a new reader. So what I really want to convey here is that although this is like jumping into a Marvel series, you really don't need to know anything. Everything is shown to you and laid out for you. And we're even in like our own iteration of the Valiant universe. This is the Valiant universe at some point in the future, I think. So everything in this book stays in this book, and Dan Abnett gets to play with all the toys, and it's really cool. So our main character here, I'll show off this dust jacket one more time, because I love the art on the front, but I hate dust jackets. Jay Lee doing that. Beautiful art. Our main character here is Rye. Next to him there is the Eternal Warrior. Rye's the pale one with the red dot. He comes from New Japan, so you can see where his design comes from with the white face and the red circle. Coming off the heels of a big event, Fallen World, it seems like Rye crashed New Japan. I don't know what that is. Some orbital city into the Earth, trying to kill Father, who is the big bad guy. But he didn't kill Father. Instead, all he did was make us into some sci-fi post-apocalyptic world, and now he's on a quest to right his wrongs, and he hurt a lot of people when he dropped that entire city into the Earth, and he's trying to become human. There's a lot of really cool themes about him trying to embrace his human side, but when he does so, it's just cold and calculating, because I haven't explained yet, Rye's an android. He's half biological, half machine, maybe not exactly half, but he's got a little of both in him, and he's trying to embrace his human side. And in this book, this is all Adam Polina that I've been showing you thus far, besides the very first few pages. And he does a phenomenal job in Fallen World here. It is just an intro to the main story, but he does a very, very good job. And if it wasn't Juan José Rip doing the majority of the art, he would be who I'm talking about. He's a very good artist. But I do want to get to the main series, Rai, proper. Rai is accompanied by Raijin, a prototype of his model, an older brother, but looking like a younger child. There's Rai in Juan Jose Rip's style. The awesome cover. And you could probably notice a little bit of Jeff Darrow in Rip's art. Very intricate, very detailed. Andrew Dahlhaus does amazing at coloring Juan Jose Rip here. I just think it looks like the work of one artist doing everything. And it's really, really kind of... It's all very uniform, and I think it works very well. But I do just love Rip's style. I'm a sucker for hyper-detailed art. The kind of Lynn Clare thing, which he's not exactly that, I don't think, but I'm no expert. But I think the Rai series really stands out with really good art here, as opposed to Adam Polina at the beginning, which I was interested in. If the whole series was drawn by him, I'm not sure if I would be singing its praises or doing this video. I'm not sure. Once again, I do think he's a great artist, but just like in my personal preference, Juan Jose Rip just kills it all the time here. Andrew Dahlhaus also just destroying the colors. But Rai is on a quest to right his wrongs, as I said, and Father has a certain amount of MacGuffins around the world. And if he collects all the MacGuffins, he gets stronger. And so we don't want the big bad guy getting bigger or badder. So Rai is traveling around. This is very much an adventure book. He's traveling around trying to get rid of these MacGuffins so Father can't get them. And along the way, he's trying to become human, but is realizing the flaw in that idea. And there's a lot of Raijin, who is his prototype older brother, who is only a robot. He's not organic in any way, and he sometimes is more human than Rai. Overall, just a phenomenal premise, and I really think it works in this, to me, new universe. It's a very old universe, but I think it's really cool that he can bring in Eternal Warrior, Geomancer, all these people who... there's a... Not Psylocke, because that's like Marvel stuff, but something Lock. All of it comes into play. If you know Valiant more than me, you definitely know what I'm talking about, but I clearly don't. Really cool sci-fi designs from Juan Jose Rip. Overall, a great series. Goes for 10 issues. There's a lot I could say about that. I want to show a little bit more art before we do that. Here's something that I think is a little bit different. You notice in the background there, that's pixelation, like artificial pixelation on the art. You can see the contrasting styles here. That's shown for our character Lula, who is kind of like in the like a data stream type thing, like some jargon. She's in the internet, she's in technology, but this way of showing that I think will age a little bit and be a little antiquated later. A lot of stuff does that. All of art eventually gets, difficult to connect with on a certain level after it's old enough. But this specifically, to me, here's a better example. It looks really cool. I like this page more than any other page with this effect on it. But I just don't think it's going to age really well. It just looks like artifacting or something. I do like the use of it. I don't know if there was a better way to show off the, like, we're in a computer kind of look, but maybe it'll be fine. I don't know. It's best not to worry about how your media is going to age, because it doesn't matter, really, if you enjoy it. But, yeah, this is definitely an adventure book. Unfortunately, it does not have a full arc. I'm going to go right to the last page, because it's technically a spoiler, but it's my jumping off point for this rant I'm about to deliver. It says the end right here. On the original issue, the floppy, right here would be returning soon, Rai, Season 2 or whatever, Series 2, coming next summer or whatever. Valiant was purchased by DMG Entertainment in, I think, 2018, if I'm getting my names right. And everything was canceled, basically. I don't know if it's whether they just cut down on cost or if all the artists and writers rightly left and decided to go somewhere else. I don't know. But I'll flip through some of the art at the back here while we go over this. But yeah, it's a real shame because this series ends at a place. I don't even want to say halfway through. Maybe he had 4 or 5 different series plotted for this. It does not have a satisfying conclusion, and I don't think it ever will. In 2018, DMG Entertainment, Dan Mintz is the he's on the goddamn credits up here. There's gonna be language, and I'm salty. I'm salty. Oh, it's in the dust jacket. They bought Valiant and just destroyed everything that I enjoy about Valiant Entertainment. Dinesh, okay, I think it's Dinesh Shamdasani. I'm not sure if I'm remembering or saying that correctly, but he was the prior owner and kind of spearheading Valiant. Here it is. Dan Mintz doesn't deserve to have his name in a book that he had nothing to do with and ruined, but it's there. Dinesh was spearheading Valiant Universe and really brought it into its own, into a kind of a golden age from what I've heard. That's when I got into it, like 2015, 16. And a lot of the stuff that he did just goes out the window and is destroyed so that Dan Mintz can make movies like the looked horrible Bloodshot movie that came out recently with Vin Diesel. And he just wants to make movies. Like, it's no secret that he bought the company to use their properties to make movies. He has no interest in comic books. They publish like 2, maybe 3 issues a month now. And I assume most of their profits are from selling collected editions of stuff that he had nothing to do with and DMG Entertainment had nothing to do with. And in fact, ruined. So just the fact that I bought this and the money went to them upsets me, so I will not be buying any more Valiant books. I hope that they hemorrhage money at a fast enough rate that they have to sell to someone who cares about comics and not just wanting to make movies off properties that they themselves spit on. It's upsetting to me and really annoying, and I knew all this information before, but it didn't upset me this much until I got to the end of this book, and it just says the end, and it's not an ending, and it's not the artist or the creator's fault in any way that it ended that way. They had plans, and I think they were in development. Rip probably had pages that were just tossed away that I'm sure he had to get paid for them, but still weren't used, and it's upsetting. So DMG Entertainment sucks. If you want to, don't buy from Valiant. Obviously buy from them if you want. This book's awesome. If you want the book, buy the book. Just me personally, I don't want my money going to some people that actively shit on the art that I love and ruin it. So Dinesh did go on to found Bad Idea Comics. The issue with that is Bad Idea only sells to certain retailers around the country. I think like less than 100 maybe. There's none in my area. I cannot get them. If I want to buy them on eBay, they're insanely overpriced. And they don't do collected editions, trades, digital, deluxes, nothing. Not even digital, like I said. So there is no way for me to get these issues or to read them. And I know that Bad Idea is coming from the stance of like the old-fashioned kind of newsstand enjoyer comics, which is a huge market, I'm sure. Well, compared to most comics, it's not huge in general. But I see where he's coming from with that stance, doing things the old way. But it doesn't seem feasible to continue on, doesn't seem sustainable, and I just really think it sucks that artists like Juan José Rip and Tomás Giorello, who I adore, like no one's going to see their work. Even people who care and want to see their comics, they're not going to see their work because they can't get these issues, and there's no trades, there's no digital issues, there's no hardcovers or anything coming out collecting series. There's just the issues, and when they're gone, and you have to buy them off scalpers on eBay and stuff. So that sucks, but I don't want to shit on Bad Idea. They're awesome, and I love what they did. And a lot of the talent from this era of Valiant is at Bad Idea. A lot of the great talent. So, good for them for doing that. It just, I'm just upset, I'm upset that I can't get to it. But mainly, if you made it this far, I really appreciate you watching my rant. Mainly what I wanted to say was, DMG Entertainment sucks. They ruined Valiant, and they ruined this book. And that's about it. So thanks a lot for watching. This book's great. Buy it if you want. I had a long rant, but really at the heart of it is this book is awesome. Dan Abnett, Juan José Rip, Adam Polina, they all made a really great book. And I will be keeping it, but I won't be buying any future stuff. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Fuck you, DMG. Peace.